easy as well as Big Dunka. And Monoci is sadly already 0 and 1. Oh, and we're already off.
Alright, we got a route divergence already. Oh my gosh, we got a cape in Sank Cave, or Sank Chest. That does not bode well. It's probably not something our runners want to see.
Oh, cape as your first item. Oh, and a quick map check here. We see Crystal 5 at Eastern, Crystal 6 at Tower of Hera, and I sadly missed what was a desert.
I did as too, because I was so concerned about 5 and 6 being so early on in the game. We may have an early Fat Fairy check here today. Monoci finding some fungus in the in Hyrule Dungeon here.
We're off. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, chat confirming for us that we have a crystal at all 3 Light World dungeons. So this could be some interesting configuration of Dark World and Pendant dungeons.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we're starting out early with a fetch quest, as you said, already picking up a mushroom. We see only 10 arrows at the Lumberjack Cave, so I doubt anyone will go back for that.
No, I cannot foresee a universe in which either one of our runners would even contemplate going back for the big 10 arrows. Alright, we got $20 here, and Gem going to be picking that up probably for the main reason that Gem wants to be able to buy some bombs. So...
Yep, gets a nice little tree pull that gets him over those 50 rupees so he can actually afford the bombs. Well, so much for that. Big
300. Oh, Gem saving and quitting out of there. Interesting.
Okay,
Now, this is some interesting routing here by Gem.
I think he actually wants to save his money for the bombs and rather opts to go for these bushes here.
Meanwhile, Monoci going the traditional route over to Kakariko Village. I've not seen a runner ever do what Gem is doing right now. I'm certain there's a method to the madness. There it is. It's the bomb, as you were saying.
Yeah, not having too much luck with those bushes. I mean, they're a 50-50 chance, and he could have come out with 4, and he's only got 1. But 1 is better than 0, I guess.
True. Monoci just finding 5 rupees in the tavern. Nothing doing for race game, I don't believe.
Got a heart container on the library, or in the library rather.
Monoci got the bombs, hitting up Chicken House here. Just a piece of fart. Both of our runners have sufficient money to get Bottle Merchant as well, so we'll see if Bottle Merchant hands out a minor life lesson or something good. Oh, we got a lamp.
That's pretty good, I'd say. No more dark rooms for these guys.
Yep.
Let's see if the well's got anything. So far, only a piece of heart. Kakariko, kind of not that great today.
We're still waiting on the two biggest spots, the well and Blind's House. Don't count Kakariko Village out just yet.
Oh, and there are the flippers, so instantly eating my words, apparently.
We got flips. We got flips. Gotta be telling you, it's Waterfall of Wishing time.
Yeah, definitely not a bad choice at all.
Could be Hobo, but likely Waterfall of Wishing.
And interesting to note is that this pretty much takes out almost all of the sequence breaks our runners could do.
Indeed.
And there's our first sword.
Hey, we got the Fisher-Price sword. Alright. Fun for kids of all ages. And we got a bottle. Oh. So are we going to backtrack to Sick Kid?
Yeah, kind of unfortunate that both our runners decided to go through Kakariko from the bottom to the top, but at least you don't have to leave a spot behind. That always feels kind of weird.
Yeah, it's always nagging in the back of your mind for the remainder of the run. What if what I need was there? What if it was there?
Just a piece of heart, but both the runners, as you were saying, now able to check the Waterfall of Wishing, and they also have enough money to pay off Zora.
You got to imagine that after getting the flips, that's probably first thing on our runner's mind.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see them go down to the dam, then check the mini Moldorm cave, and then jump straight into the waters.
Meanwhile, Monoci about to check race game and going to be disappointed, but then again, race game is usually rather disappointing anyway. So Monoci definitely going to be heading south here. Gem probably going to be doing the same thing. We're going to see a little bit of sync here. Nope, they're not going to be on the same screen at the same time.
Yeah, almost sync here. Gem just behind a couple of seconds. Really doesn't mean anything this early into the game, obviously, but still interesting to see. Oh, and it looks like maybe Gem wants to go from east to west and check Agina's cave?
Gem completely skipping the dam. There's the Moon Pearl in the dam. That could come back to haunt Gem. Depending on where the items lead Gem, he may opt to skip the dam for now, and depending on the layout, that could come back to haunt him later. And we got Magic Mirror.
And the glove in the waters outside the dam, so Gem definitely should not skip that location.
Ooh, we got a gold mine in the dam. Some soggy power gloves, but they still work.
And Gem is apparently swimming over to the Ice Rod Cave.
Ice Rod Cave, just like you mentioned earlier, Herfy, it's one of those locations that it's out of the way, but if you don't get it early, you're going to be constantly second-guessing yourself the rest of the run.
Oh, yes, absolutely. It's one of these locations, as well as Agina Cave, that runners like to skip or don't like to go to, maybe is a better way of putting it. But we've seen it oftentimes have something good. Apparently not this time, but...
Well, the race that I commentated last night, Jet 82 and El Magus, right? The key decision happened to be Mad Batter. Of all the locations, it was the bat that was the key location.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and generally thought to be a very low % location. And one runner checked it early, and that made all the difference. Here's Waterfall of Wishing. We got Big 20 and bombs, so the flips might have been meant for Hobo, or whatever item is on the ledge here at Zora. Let's see if flips were important in the chain, or if they were just randomly placed early.
Just a piece of heart up on the ledge there, so unless Zora has something, the flippers, so far at least, kind of misleading. As you were saying, the Hobo definitely still a location they can check. I'm not sure if either of the runners checked the Lake Hylia Island yet.
I do not recall seeing what item was on Lake Hylia Island. Alright, Zora, do we have a life lesson incoming? Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, not really something you want to see. At least give us a full heart container.
Now, both of our runners have the mushroom. Interesting that none of them, because they had real flippers, interesting that none of them stopped off and dropped off the mushroom with the witches on the way.
Yeah, true, they could have definitely checked that with how early it was. I'm still a little bit worried about Gem here. Still skipping the dam. Gonna check the hobo now, and then let's see where he goes after that.
Just $20 on Lake Hylia Island, as we were talking about earlier, so nobody's going to be coming back there. Dan Bopes, thank you so much for the sub hype. We here at Speed Gaming very much appreciate the sub hype. Thank you much. Meanwhile, Monoci85 heading down into Escape.
Hobo with yet another piece of heart, so none of these flipper locations paying off.
So at the moment, it looks like the early flips were a red herring. It may, however, portend the need to go through Swamp Palace or Ice Palace, even if they're pendant dungeons.
Absolutely. Even though they haven't paid off yet, it's still calming your mind a little bit to have those flippers early on.
Gem finally grabbing his moon pearl. Be grabbing the power glove here as well.
Yeah, he saves I don't know, 5 seconds or something, thanks to having the mirror in here already.
Alright, what is in Zelda's chest? We've got Hookshot in Zelda's chest.
That's
Impressive.
also a very nice find. So this opens up quite a bit of Death Mountain to them after they're done here with Escape.
Indeed it does. So Monoci gonna head on into the dungeon, find the one item that's left here, see if he continues on and into the escape sewer with its 3 chests. Just a big 20 in Agana's cave. And just a burrito in the dark portion of sewers.
Yep, and looks like, as you said, he is moving on to the last 3 chests here.
Looks like Gem's going the back way.
Yeah, maybe gonna see a high 5 here, depending on how quick Monoci can get there.
Depends on whether or not these rats are cooperative.
Yes.
Alright, in the trio, we got Big 20, we got Half Magic, ooh, and that's gotta be Kane!
Oh man, Half Magic and Kane hype. I'm very happy this came this early, by the way.
Everyone loves Canis Maria, best item in the game.
It is an amazing item, that is very true. Alright, so it looks like both of our runners deciding it is time for Death Mountain. Unfortunately for Gem, he apparently has not picked up the hookshot yet, so there will be a little less accessible to him.
Yeah, he will be unable to access, unless the hammer happens to be on West Side Death Mountain. He'll be completely unable to access Spiral Cave or God bless, Paradox Cave. There we go.
Yeah, quite a bunch of items over there. There's ether from the old man for Gem. Looks like Monoci decided to check the lumberjacks before he went up Death Mountain. It's oh, Gem taking a death.
Yeah, cabbages, man. But he'll be able to continue right back off at the old man's cave, so not too much time lost there.
Yeah, thankfully he got the old man back before anything bad happened to him.
All right, so very, very close here. But as you mentioned, Gem does not have the hook shot. It's going to be could be a huge disadvantage, particularly if he has to return later to Death Mountain to find progression items, whereas Monoci here could knock them all out at one fell swoop.
Yeah, and so far it looks like at least the top of Death Mountain is not too great yet. Just a piece of heart on Spectacle Rock itself, and just a couple of bumps in the Spectacle Rock cave.
All right, it's time for everyone's favorite Tower of Hera and everyone's favorite boss, Trolldorm. In the basement, we got a small key. There are 2 unique items in Tower of Hera, but based on its position, a lot of times you will find a progression item here, but not right now.
Just grabbing a heart container, which means the tile room here in the basement is required. Time for a little coffee break.
Absolutely.
Also of note is... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Gem not going to do the coffee break strat. He's actually going to be active here, but go ahead.
I was just going to say also of note is going to be that they'll have to fight the Trolldorm with their vanilla weapon. Just a small sword, no hammer, no sword upgrades.
Yeah, that's... The thing is, once you've been used to playing Randomizer and used to either using the hammer or an upgraded sword, you forget how much of a pain in the butt Trolldorm can be with the fighter's sword.
Yeah, especially that quick phase at the end. It's almost impossible to skip it with only the fighter's sword, so you'll eventually have a really fast and annoying Trolldorm running around up there.
Trolldorm enraged. So Monoci using the coffee break strat. And Gem taking advantage of the fact that the clay pots, when thrown at an enemy, do the same amount of damage as the tempered sword.
Yeah, these pots hurt a lot.
Oh, Gem went down to 1 heart, but then got 2 to replace it. Going to use a bomb jump here to get across the bridge. Nicely done. And gets so 2 heart containers in Tower of Hera. Absolutely no progression items.
Yeah, interesting. We get crystals 5 and 6 so early, and then one of those dungeons only has 2 heart containers. I mean, right now with how they're looking on hearts, they probably won't scoff at it, but you'd rather find some progression, I'm sure.
But interestingly enough, we do have crystals 5 and 6 early on in the game, but the determining factor is going to be where is the bow? And cape strats from Gem. I like the way Gem is thinking here.
Oh yeah, that's really good. With a half magic, it's not even going to be a problem, and he takes Trolldorm down absolutely no issues whatsoever.
All right, so as we foretold, Gem is going to have a bit of an issue here because he is locked out of the east side of Death Mountain, whereas once Monoci finishes off Trolldorm here, he's heading off to East Death Mountain and the 8 items that await him over there.
Yeah, as you say, quite a lot of items over there that Gem has to skip out on right now. Looks like he's deciding to head over to Eastern instead of Chicken Escape, so the longer he leaves that hookshot down there, the worse, really.
And many times it's a single decision like that. Monoci saying, you know what, I'm going to head down into Escape. And, with hookshot and Zelda's chest, little decisions like that can be the difference between victory and defeat. However, should Gem get on the right path here and find a different progression item, he could make up the time. But we got bombs, we got 5 rupees and 20 rupees. Sahasrah's Closet not paying off at all.
Nope, he just hit a little bit of change back there.
Monoci heading over to Paradox Cave right now. $50 rupees in a heart container. Significant amount of love so far in this seed. Number of hearts our runners have after only 20 minutes is impressive.
Yeah, hearts and money seems to be the theme of this seed so far.
And the mini troll dorms living up to their name here for Monoci.
Absolutely.
All the time. And more love, single arrow. Hammer time.
There we go. So that is Dark World access for Monoci, which makes this even worse for Gem.
Indeed it does, because Gem may, at this point, because remember, he has the magic cape. It's possible, I'm not a prognosticator and I cannot read minds, but it is possible that Gem decides to go Aghanim rather than drop down into Escape. It's possible. We shall see.
Yeah, hopefully he decides to check the Escape before heading up to Aghanim. Could get there right now, theoretically.
Because remember, the early lamp kind of signifies it as well.
Yeah, early lamp, early cape. No sword upgrades or anything, really. Can't get to Dark World, as far as Gem is concerned anyways.
Yeah, because sometimes Aghanim is your only early route into Dark World. All right, nothing doing in Spiral Cave for Monoci, but the world's kind of Monoci's oyster at this point. He's got all the tools he needs to head out to Dark World. You got to imagine that's his next stop.
Yeah, I would certainly hope so. And it looks like we might be getting a Hype Cave check from Monoci here.
That's possible. And remember, he has all of the items he needs to complete Swamp Palace with its 6 items. So depending on whether it is a crystal. All right, pendants are at Mire, Trock, and Pod. Wow.
Interesting. Oh, and Gem grabs the flute as his last item out of Eastern Palace, so that is a good find for him.
Oh, absolutely. At this point, it's not necessarily required, but it will make traversing the world much, much easier. Hype Cave is basically Tripe Cave for Monoci.
Even more love and money. So usually I would say these are pendant dungeons that you like seeing, but with the way pendant dungeons have been going lately.
Hashtag bow on Trinex.
Mm-hmm. I'm feeling something like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, all rise for the Hyrulean National Anthem. And the goose is loose.
And Gem immediately darting back to Kakariko to activate that. See where he decides to go now. Alright, looks like it's escape time for Gem, so he will be picking up his hook shot.
Alright, Gem heading on back to Hyrule Castle. Now did he not go? I thought he went this way before already.
Yeah, I'm a little confused, but maybe he skipped out on everything in here? Looks like he did.
Finding a bottle in the first chest of Swamp Palace. Well, the first chest that can actually contain an item.
Yep, if the very first chest was randomized, you'd probably be in a lot of trouble a lot of times.
Indeed. Let's see if Jim goes and grabs his hook shot.
He is making his way downward, so that's a good start for him.
But even at that, though, does he make the trek up to Death Mountain where we know the hammer lies? Or does he say, forget it, I'm already in Hyrule Castle, I'm just going to take the gamble on Aghanim? Now, we know that that's the wrong decision, but, you know, it's easy to sit here and second-guess somebody when you're not the one running the match.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to say things like that when you have the insight of two runners and where the items actually are.
Alright. So Monoci just going a quick way through Swamp Palace. He may come back and do west side of Swamp Palace after defeating Argus, but we are going to see the menu boss make an appearance here. Unless Monoci finds a sword upgrade, he's going to be swapping back and forth between hammer and hookshot when he fights Argus.
Yeah, one of the
time.
one of the more annoying things you might have to do while playing Rando. There's the hookshot for Gem, and he was thinking about Aga for a second, but decides to leave. Or, nope, goes back for the Dark Sewers. Man, he doesn't know what he wants to do.
When you're approaching the 30-minute mark here and you have no Dark World access, it starts to wear on you a little bit.
Oh, he's really indecisive. Decides to mirror out and now flutes away, probably back up to Death Mountain. Oh, nope, decides to turn into Mushroom in first, so let's see what the witch has for us.
Meanwhile, Monoci heading on in for Argus. Like I said, menu boss time. Nope, he's going to use the spin strat.
Oh, and Gem grabs a Bombos.
Yeah, Bombos at Bombos for Mushroom. That could be significant. Even though both Mire and Trock are pendant dungeons, as you mentioned earlier, Hervey, in this version of the logic, you're probably going to have to go in anyway. So that Bombos could be very significant if either Trock or Mire are required.
Yeah, not to forget, it could be their only way through Ice Palace.
Yep. Fire Rod can be in Ice Palace, so... Now that... Monoci making this look easy, but hitting Argus with the hammer is not the easiest thing in the world. Matter of fact, I would never do it.
No, I probably wouldn't dare try. That guy's so quick, and the hammer hitbox. Ooh, and he gets the silvers for his troubles. That's a nice find.
Absolutely. No one will ever complain about finding silvers. Like, even if you're waiting on that one last troll item, right? But you find the silvers, you're like, it's good. It's not what I'm looking for, but I'll take it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate.
Because the silvers can can help you complete so many dungeons so much more quickly because they absolutely wreck every item or every enemy in the game. Pretty much. There's a couple that they don't hurt, but everything else pretty much dies in one hit.
Monoci decides to blind check the Hylia Island. I don't think he knows what's on here.
And it's just a big 20, we know that, but... Monoci checking Hobo, and we know that's going to be disappointing as well. Now, Monoci taking a gamble. He left quite a few items in Swamp Palace.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised we didn't see him go back in. I mean, who likes doing left side swamp, but you don't want to leave an important item there.
That decision could come back and haunt him. We shall see.
Well, Gem has grabbed his hammer for his Dark World access, decides to stay up here on Death Mountain. I'm not quite sure where he plans on going.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering as well. He's done Paradox Cave. I swear he checked Death Mountain or Spectacle Rock and Spectacle Rock Cave.
Is he doing Spy Cave?
Is he doing? Yeah, that you read my mind. Yeah. Okay, he's got half magic. Why not do Spike Cave?
Yeah, true. And I think he's got a green goo in a bottle. Should everything go wrong, which it definitely shouldn't.
Meanwhile, Monoci heading over to Western Dark World. See if he check. Spike Cave, nothing doing here. We'll see if Monoci checks out Skull Woods first. Nope, he's not going into Skull Woods. He's going to check Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, sadly missing those Titan Smiths to check the Hammer Pack Cave since he has his hammer out, but still quite a bunch of items to find here.
And Master Sword in chest game.
That's a very good find. You like that first sword upgrade.
Yep, so now he has the sword he needs to beat the game. Obviously, no one wants to do Master Sword Ganon, but that is the bare minimum. And finds the banana hat.
Yeah, that's another thing like the silvers you mentioned. Maybe one tier below the silvers, but still, nobody's really going to be mad about finding a male upgrade.
No. Think about the only time you would turn one down is if it's on Lumberjack Tree, Floating Island, you know, one of those annoying places to get to.
Yeah, that is true.
All right, so we're definitely going to see Steve's Town here. Steve's Town has 4 unique items, so good chance here to find a progression item.
Yep, and with a hammer in hand, not going to have any trouble finishing every chest off. Don't have to leave that big chest behind.
Right. So really, Herfy, the only items that we technically lack for Go mode is Bow, Fire Rod, and Mitts. There we go. Bow, Fire Rod, and Mitts. That's it. We're 33 minutes in.
Yeah, true. It's quite crazy. Of course. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think you were headed right to the same point I was. Is that it's possible, depending on where those 3 items are, that you might need Ice Rod or Quake or Boots to get them.
Yep, exactly. Okay, so Gem is making his way into Swamp Palace now. Let's see if he also decides to skip the left side. I do know that Gem is known for skipping the left side. and it has cost him before. So I wonder if he's changed his ways.
Gem living dangerously here. Remember, Gem also still has the green mail through here. One of those little things that I didn't know until I started playing Rando is that the hammer can shatter clay pots and skulls so that you don't need to pick them up.
Yep, that's also something I didn't learn until Rando. It's just, it never came to my mind to try that.
Yeah. And Monoci encountering now the ridiculously overpowered crickets in Steve's town.
Yeah, thankfully he did pick up his blue mail.
Yeah, so they only do 1 heart of damage as opposed to 2. So Gem going through familiar territory here for us. Monochi's got 3 more items left here in Steve's town. We know, however, one of them is going to be a key. And unfortunately, I have not been counting the number of unique items that he has yet. We'll do a menu check and see. If he checks the menu, we'll see how many possibilities are still left. Okay, the only 2 items that are left for him to get here in Thieves Town are the compass and the map. So yeah, exactly. He's not even going to check the chest because there's nothing else for him to find here in Thieves Town.
I'm just gonna leave everything behind. Doesn't even have to go over to get the big chest.
And Gem does not do the left side of Steve's Town either. Or not Steve's Town, Swamp Palace. So we'll see if Gem decides to go back in and complete it, or if he also ignores left side.
Beautiful blind fight from Monoci here. Gets him down, no troubles at all. Grabs a compass.
Alright, so you're Monoci. Where do you go now? Do you dive into pod?
That's a good question. I think he's going up to Skull Woods, maybe? Oh, he's checking mirror spots, I believe.
Yeah. Also, you found the cape really early, so checking cape caves probably a smart thing to do here, too.
Yeah, very true. Can't forget about Bunker Cave.
Nope, Monoci just taking a different route into Skull Woods, apparently. Ever since version 26 came out, Skull Woods has kind of been required checking for no matter whether it's a pendant or a crystal.
Yeah, only 2 items in here, but usually one of them is very good.
Nice bomb jump from Monoci. Finds a small key for his troubles. And those Gibdos, man. Even with Master Sword, they're a pain in the butt. All right, Gem does go back into Swamp Palace. Is this going to be huge? Monoci probably feeling a little disappointed. His first item found in Skull Woods is just a bomb upgrade.
Yeah, really not one you want to see, but you can check one more chest.
And if it doesn't have his item, he's got to wait until he finds a fire rod to come back. And here's why the Cane of Samaria is the best item in the game, right there. Nope, just a small key.
So, Skullwood's still hiding its items. At least one of them. Let's see what gem can pick out of swamp here. Maybe this is the item that Monoci unfortunately left behind.
If it's the fire rod, that's gonna be huge. And Bumper Cave has just bombs.
Right, am I crazy, or is Gem not having a key and you just flooded the key, maybe?
No, I swear I saw him pick it up.
Yeah, okay. I'm just crazy.
It's alright, it happens.
Well, the pot's always there once you leave the
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah. Alright, let us see. First item. This compass doesn't help. Unless I'm missing my guess. I think this has to be the big key. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, of course it's gonna be as annoying as possible, and then it'll be 5 rupees or something.
Of course. Nothing doing in Cave Above Graveyard either for Monoci, whatever.
Maybe he's gonna jump over and turn his mushroom in so he'll grab bombos, and that might lead him, well, without the mitts it probably won't lead him to Ice Palace.
No, but you know if...
Ooh. That's a big one to leave behind.
It is, isn't it? That gives Gem a distinct advantage.
Yeah, that is absolutely huge. And we have no idea when Monoci will decide to go in for that last item that he left in Swamp.
Gem's gonna swing around here, check Cave South of Grove. Probably check Old Stumpy and Alec Baldwin while he's at it. He says, why? Okay. He says, no, I'm not going to get the piece of art.
Apparently just wanted to refill his health for some reason.
Save the frames, I guess. Explosions from Old Stumpy. Let's see if Catfish has something significant.
You know what I just noticed? Gem still hasn't picked up a single bomb upgrade. He's still at 10 bombs max.
Alright, Quakefish, what you got for us today? Quakefish could never really give you a life lesson since he gives you his item for free. But it's close enough. Nothing at Alec Baldwin's digging game. I'm thinking it's, for at least if you're Gem, it's time to head straight to Pod and do Pod and Eastern back to back. But Gem says, nope, I will not do what you think I'm going to do, Phantom Ryu. Meanwhile, that seems like is that where Monoci is headed? No, Monoci's go check Pyramid. Okay.
Yeah, this might be a good check for Monoci here.
It's Mitts! Mitts on the pyramid!
Oh wow, that's another huge item. So now that might lead Monoci to go into Ice Palace with that bombos that he picked up for his mushroom.
Okay, because remember, Monoci does not have the bow, so he can't. Yeah, and I'm sorry. When I said earlier doing a clear of Pod and Eastern, I forgot Pod is a pendant, but which kind of dilutes its importance a little bit. But I think what Monoci's going to end up doing here is he's going to check East Death Mountain here in the Dark World. We'll see what that turns up for him.
Yep, with Hookshot Cave available, quite a few items to find here. Hopefully something good.
And Jim, go ahead.
No, you were just gonna say the same thing I was gonna say, I think.
Yeah,
just,
with Jim
Town.
going through Thieves Town, where we know what the items are here. Super Bunny Cave. Not much, unless I missed it, which I don't think I did.
No, I think it didn't really have anything of importance for us.
Ooh, shovel in Hookshot Cave.
More fetch quests.
Hey, we heard you like fetch quests.
There's a red boomerang.
Yeah, the red meringue. And Hookshot Cave is a bust.
Alright, so we're gonna find out what we need for Turtle Rock. It is Quake, so we don't even have that yet.
The plot thickens. And that, you know what that means, boys and girls? No, never mind. Quake cannot be on the pedestal. Pedestal is pretty much dead at this point.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out. Maybe boots required for desert?
Yeah, that might be the only thing.
That's really all I can think of, at least.
Yep. Monoci gonna head into Cave of Disappointment here with the spikes. Alright, so again, we are really just waiting on Fire Rod at this point. We found the bow, we found Titan's Mitts. Fire Rod is the only item, technically, that we're waiting for Go mode. But of course, it could be locked behind Boots, it could be locked behind Shovel, it could be, we don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of places where that Fire Rod could be.
Indeed. Fire Rod could be locked behind Fat Fairy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I'm thinking we're gonna see an Ice Palace from Monoci here.
On the one hand, you want to say no, bad idea, but on the other hand, you can't really blame him, particularly with this logic. The key here, though, remember that is that Monoci does not have the flute. He did not dive into Eastern Palace, so he did not pick up the flute from there. So, based on his knowledge, this is probably the best play. We will see if... Wait a minute, I'm a moron. Ice is also a crystal dome, so it's not even remotely a gamble at this point.
Okay, sorry about that. My phone randomly rang.
It happens. They knew you were commentating. They just wanted to interrupt you.
Yeah, sure feels like it.
I've had work do that multiple times. All right, so see if Monoci does the bomb jump or not. If you're doing a full clear of Ice Palace, he's going to do the bomb jump. But if you're doing a full clear of Ice Palace and you have the Cane of Samaria, bomb jump actually loses you a little bit of time.
Yeah, if you're planning on full clearing it anyways. But we'll have to see. Maybe the muscle memory just takes over.
True.
He's definitely set up for the bomb jump as far as the crystal switch is concerned.
Oh, Monoci having a little comedy of errors here with the Ice Palace bomb jump. I can relate. This happens to me at least every other time I try it, and just to the same degree.
Yeah, once you mess it up the first time, it kind of starts getting to you, and then it's just a cascade of catastrophe.
I like that. A cascade of catastrophe. That's a good one. I like that. We have to steal that term from you.
Okay, so I think Ice Palace so far hasn't really paid out yet, item-wise at least.
Not yet, but we have yet. I don't believe we have found a single unique item at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely making Monoci look for it.
So, I mean, it's high likelihood that Cold Stare has one of those items, and even though he's got blue mail, I would not be keen to fight Cold Stare with just the Master Sword and no Fire Rod.
Yeah, that is very true. That can't be a fun fight. I personally wouldn't want to hammer Cold Stare, but I've seen people do that.
Yep. I've done it before, and I got extraordinarily lucky.
And hammer hitbox is no joke. Or a huge joke, depending on which way you're looking at it, I guess.
That's true. So Jem getting running around again. Looks like he's going to check Cave North of Graveyard. Stuff that we've already seen Monoci check. It's all down to the location of that fire rod. Now remember, folks, it could be in something ridiculous like sitting on... the fire rod could be sitting on the post in Desert Palace, meaning you need the boots, and the boots could be locked deep in Turtle Rock. So, you never know.
Yeah, there is certainly a lot of troll potential left in this seed.
Oh, finding a big 20. Monoci can't be happy about that.
Yeah, that's a disappointing find after really not finding anything but keys and dungeon items. And it looks like Jem decides to dip into pod here.
Can't say I blame him. 5 unique items in Palace of Darkness, and as soon as you get access to the Dark World, normally you have access to most of Pod.
Yeah, it's definitely not a bad play at all.
Oh, there's Cheeto's sword in Ice Palace.
Alright, that's I'd say that's a good find.
Alright, that's it. That's all 3 items in Ice Palace. Fire Rod is not here.
No fire rod in Ice Palace today. This will also make the cold stare fight significantly more enjoyable for Monoci, I would say.
Without a doubt. So Jim... Excuse me, Jim heading on into Eastern first. He's gonna kick himself when he finds... Alright, never mind, I'm sorry. Monoci's the one without the flute. Jim just gonna go ahead and complete it, and then if he doesn't find Fire Rod on Armos Knights, probably gonna take that dip into Pod. Monoci with the cape strats on Cold Stare, nicely done.
Yep, having no issues at all here. Grabs his crystal. This also, as Killer App is pointing out in chat, this will also open up the Pyramid Fairy for Gem.
Yep. I think with the fact that he left his Dark World portal outside of Eastern, he's got it kind of there as a safety measure. He may be planning to go straight into Pod because of where he left his Dark World portal.
Yeah, I think that's probably what he's planning to do. And as you were saying earlier, despite it being a pendant dungeon, it's still quite likely to have something that you might want.
And Jem's showing us the power of the silver arrows here. I mean, this isn't even a fight, really. And just a single rupee on Armos Knights, so the quest for the Fire Rod continues. It's not a dig spot either.
No sign of that Fire Rod so far.
Right, so we got a couple locations that I'm not tracking in the Light World that are, or in the Overworld that our runners have checked yet. I don't remember what's on Floating Island. We've also got Froggy, Lunchbox, Hammer Pegs, Mire Shack, Checkerboard Cave, and there's a Fisher Price shield in Pod. So we got a few Overworld locations left to check. I cannot at all blame Gem, though, for heading into Palace of Darkness.
So
putting it onto the bottle. Okay.
This would have been a bow-locked pod. So if Monoci decides to dip into this dungeon at some point, he's not gonna get very far.
Now, Monoci is very close to Swamp Palace. Let's see if he's going to go back in. No, he's not. He is, however, going to do what I just talked about, and that is Froggy World Tour. Probably going to hit up Pegs and the Lunchbox. So, let's see if that elusive Fire Rod shows its face.
Oh, the slow Pegs.
Yeah.
Just a big 20.
Peg's letting everybody down. Let's see what the smiths are smithing today. They're heartsmiths today. Okay.
Yep, just a heart container. Meanwhile, Gem picks up a $50.
Yep. This is like many times, here we are, an hour into the game, and we're just waiting on one item. That is that one trolley item. It seems to always rear its ugly head in every seed, regardless of the version. But since we are at the hour mark, let me remind everybody, if you are enjoying what you're watching today, and who wouldn't, two exceptionally talented players putting in work for your entertainment. But if you are enjoying what you're seeing today, why don't you consider giving these guys a follow here on Twitch? Like I said, they are putting in work for your entertainment, and they deserve your eyeballs, deserve your follows if you're enjoying what you're seeing here. And if you need more Link to the Past randomizer action, be sure to follow the Speed Gaming family of channels, Speed Gaming 1 through 4 here on Twitch for all of your tournament needs, as well as LTTP Randomizer on Twitch for the secondary tournament. We've got all your rando action coming at you. We got even more coming through today. At the end of the race, I will let you know what all is coming up in the primary tournament. All right, in the past few minutes, our runners have showed us where all the shield upgrades are. We got a shield upgrade in Lunchbox. We got one in and one in Pod. So Pod so far looking to be a bit of a bust for Gem.
Oh boy, there's more fetch quests.
Well, Mad Batter was so important yesterday in the Jet 82 versus El Magus seed. But this trek into Pod here is giving Monoci an opportunity to catch up, but it looks like he is also going to be heading into Pod. So this may not be the catch-up opportunity we were thinking or hoping it was going to be. All right, so Herfy, what's the trolliest thing that we could have left here?
I've been trying to think about that. I'm thinking maybe the book to lead them to the tablets.
Ooh! God, that's kind of evil there, Herfy.
Well,
I like it.
To be fair, there's not really that much else left. Maybe an ice rod, but you'd still need the fire rod to think about Turtle Rock. And once you have the fire rod, you're kind of, done. At least we know that.
Yeah. I was thinking the worst thing I could think would be like Boots on Laser Bridge. And, well, no, you can't even get that far. Can you get to Laser Bridge without the fire rod and Turtle Rock with perfect key placement?
Possibly, but they'd still need to find Quake to even get into Turtle Rock first.
That's right. Well, yeah, okay, so Quake and Mire, right, on Vitreous.
How dare you call me evil?
Okay, sorry. Alright, but we're going to be essentially at a stalemate here until one of our runners finds the fire rod. At this point, it is pretty much anybody's game. Because we don't know where that fire rod is, we can sit here and surmise that Gem is basically a dungeon ahead of Monoci. A little bit more than a dungeon, considering that Monoci's going to have to head back into Swamp Palace. But Monoci ends up finding the fire rod first. Put him back in the game significantly. Gem having some problems aiming that silver arrow into the green spot in Helmsir King's forehead.
Yeah, gets him down eventually, grabs his sword upgrade, so now we know where all the sword upgrades are.
Yeah. You got to think at this point, if Monoci finds when Monoci finds the flute here in Eastern, that's probably going to send him to Mire area. So let's. There's one of the few areas that left that we haven't seen what it holds.
And we're getting an immediate powder check from Gem.
Could wow, could the pod play be required just for the powder so we can get the fire rod for Magic Bat, fire rod or Quake or Boots? All of those could conceivably be required, or book, as you mentioned.
Yeah, really, anything that you find right now that's for gem, at least not the fire rod or the mids, is bad news.
Oh, just a piece of fart.
Yeah, another one of those. Finally completing gem's first row of hearts.
And Gem heading... Where's Gem going? Oh, Gem's gonna do Fat Fairy.
Oh yeah, he can do that, and that will give him the pyramid check that he needs for the Titansmith, so that will send him to Mire immediately.
Or Ice Palace. Remember, he has not done Ice Palace yet.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because since Monoci found the mitts quite a while ago, that opened up Ice Palace for him. You got to think that's going to be Gem's next move, regardless of what he finds in Pyramid Fairy. Even if he finds the Fire Rod, which we know is the only item we need for Commentator's Go mode, you know, you got his next move will almost certainly be Swamp Palace, Ice Palace. Talking is hard.
Yeah, tell me about it. I know how that goes. Yeah, that if he does find Fire Rod in here, that is huge for Gem, because that means immediate go mode after he picks up his mitts.
Yep. Alright, moment of truth coming up right here. Fat Fairy. We knew early that crystals 5 and 6 were Eastern and Hera. He's going to let the big bomb do its thing. He sees his mitts. He's definitely happy about that.
Did you see that? Gem managed to walk off screen just as the bomb exploded and the countdown happened a second time?
I noticed that. I have not seen that before.
That's weird. Me neither.
Alright, Fat Fairy. No!
What is that?
I think that's the double middle fingers from the Fat Fairy.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it.
Alright, Monoci heading over to Mire area. Gem heading over to Mire area. Checks the ledge. The ledge is a bottle. Alright. Did not see what medallion was required for Mire. Monoci gonna grab the bottle. It's Bombos for Mire, so turning in that mushroom was certainly important.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if... Oh boy, there's the book.
You evil, evil man, you. This is all your fault, Herfy Durfy.
Yeah, okay, you can all blame me. I'll take the blame.
Oh, boots are required! Monoci just seeing the big key for Desert Palace on the I can't even think about it, the torch, whatever you want to call it. But it just means the boots are required.
Yep, so everything we said about that fire rod being go mode, yeah, forget about that.
Yeah, we were lying. Now, do you know what that just reawakened, though?
Uh-huh. I know what you're talking about.
It just reawakened the possibility that this could be a pedestal required seed, because the boots can be on the pedestal.
Man,
oh my.
If this turns into a pet seed, oh boy.
And they just got the book.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
Alright, so the only thing left here is the checkerboard cave, and then they'll either have to dip into mire or start checking the tablets, I believe.
Yep. I got almost in sync here. Check for the checkerboard cave check. And it's just a big heart.
Alright, looks like Gem is going for those tablets, at least the first one.
Monoci's going into mire. Yeah, probably. The rationale here could be that hey, I know it's a pendant dungeon, but it is the green pendant. So if we got vanilla boots could be really helpful here.
Yeah, vanilla boots could definitely be a thing.
Alright, so Monoci into mire. Gem, like you said, on the tablets, we are down to... Well, we were down to 1 item for being go mode. Now we're up to 2 items being necessary for go mode. Gem says... Alright, reads the tablet, and from the heavens...
Oh my god.
Falls the fire rod, which could have been go mode earlier, but is not now.
So, fire rod in hand, that means he needs those boots.
Think he's making a play on Turtle Rock since he's up here?
I think Gem might not have checked Hookshot Cave and the Dark World Death Mountain yet.
Oh, the darn dead rocks. Trolled by a dead rock.
The bane of every rando player.
I don't think you can find a single race where somebody doesn't get mildly trolled by a dead rock. At least one of the runners.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's their whole job, right?
True. Have we even found Quake yet, though?
Nope.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Gem
Monoci. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, Gem picking up the shovel, we know that that's not going to lead to much, though.
Yeah, and I was going to say that Monoci is again deciding to immediately head for the boss of this dungeon, just like he did in Swamp. Let's hope he doesn't leave another important item behind.
Yeah. Yeah, he's still got to go back into Swamp Palace and finish that one off to get his bow. And Monoci without the bow, using cape strats on Vitreous. Can't say I blame him.
Yeah, with the Tempered Sword, it's at least reasonably fast, at least for the small eyes.
Gem about to be disappointed here in the dig spot. Where does he go from here? Right, there's the green pendant. Again, that's, like you mentioned, that is twice that Monoci has decided not to full clear a dungeon.
Looks like Gem remembers to go into Skull Woods. I mean, it's a crystal, so of course he remembers, but not with a fire rod in hand.
Yep, and there is 1 item remaining in Skull Woods, so this could be our elusive boots. And possibly a pedestal check as well. So for anyone who is hoping for pedestal hype, say your prayers right now because we're about to find out, I believe. Meanwhile, Monoci is double dipping back into Misery Mire. So
yeah, I'm not sure if he's even found a single item in here, so...
all right, Jim's going to make us wait for the pedestal check here just a little bit longer. And he may not do it at all, but I can't imagine at this point... I can't imagine leaving it.
Yeah, I think he'll do it. You want to have that information. Even if it's nothing, you just want to be sure.
Yeah. And my gosh, if boots are in fact on pedestal, Gem has a massive knowledge advantage over Monoci.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Monoci having to do Mire the long way because he does not have the Fire Rod. Gem just absolutely annihilating Mothula in a way that makes me incredibly jealous because that is one of my worst fights.
Yeah, that Mothula fight, let's not talk about it. Gem also having to double dip here for the last item in Skullwoods. It's hiding as far in as it can.
Yep. Does he... Yeah, they did already check the big key, the big chest, so never mind. Alright, nothing there. So, boots are not in Skullwoods. Here comes the pedestal check, boys and girls. This is the moment everyone's been waiting for. Is this going to be boots on pedestal? Is the dream still alive, or is the dream dead? It is dead, ladies and gentlemen. Bugnet on the pedestal. We're not going to have a pedestal hype seed today.
Yeah, I highly doubt any of our runners are gonna grab that bugnet.
Alright, so Gem doing what we expect, and probably going to head on into Ice Palace here. Yes, he is. Monoci got one more item left here in Misery Mire. It's the boots!
Oh, man. Alright, so Monoci finding one important part of this whole go mode dilemma.
But remember, Monoci has to go back into Swamp to get his bow. He's got to clear, good bless, he's got to clear Eastern, and he's got to get back up on top of Death Mountain and check Bombo's tablet to get his Fire Rod. He's got an opportunity to get in the lead here, but he's got to make all the right decisions.
He absolutely does have to make all the right decisions. Has to basically check the tablet immediately. Has to remember that he left one item in Swamp.
Oh, and hey, eggplant hat in desert.
Yeah, nice find. Not gonna be unhappy about that. Of course, would rather have a bow or a fire rod at this point.
So the key factor now is going to be how long Gem waits to dive into Misery Mire. And if he decides to gamble on Turtle Rock rather than Mire, that could be devastating as well.
Oh, luckily for Gem, that Quake is still nowhere to be found.
Oh yeah, that's right. Thank you. Yeah, if he finds Quake, which I doubt, given the locations that are left.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious now, though, where Quake might be hiding. At this point, it might be in GT, maybe.
It could be, absolutely. So Monoci doing all right with Landmalas. They're relatively trolly with no fire rod and no silver arrows, whether you get the short hops or the long hops. All right, so Monoci, where are you going now, man?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot left for him.
Monoci getting some old man kisses, and then probably going to check Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb.
Yeah, with what he has currently, I can't blame him at all. The problem I see, as you mentioned earlier, he's probably not gonna make that dip back into Swamp until it's the very last thing that he can check.
Yep. Bonk Rocks time, as we know, so all of the exciting stuff is, we basically know where it is, right? We know where the butter sword is, we know where all the shield upgrades are, we know where silvers are.
Yeah, we are pretty much in no mode.
Yep, Monoci heading to Pod. Or not. Maybe he's just headed to Eastern. And he's going to turn in his green pendant.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. He's already gone through Eastern as far as he can without the bow.
Just another big 20 from Sahasrara, as we were expecting.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Wait just 1 minute here. Monoci may be heading back into Swamp Palace. Because he doesn't have the bow, so he doesn't have crystals 5 and 6, so he's not checking Fat Fairy here.
I'm thinking this might be a tablet check, but let's hope he goes back to Swamp.
Oh no, it's just a tablet check. Oh.
That's really unfortunate. I do hope he feels inclined to take his Dark World warp back and then just walk over to Swamp.
Yeah, we'll see. And there's the Bloomerang.
Oh, and he saves and quits.
Oh. You hate to see that kind of thing happen.
Yeah, it's that one location you left behind.
Well, at least he's gonna get his fire rod here. But Gem's only thing left now really is Mire. So what is? Oh, Gem hasn't done Froggy or Pegs or Lunchbox yet.
Yeah, so he's gonna waste some more time here, unfortunately for Gem, but very good for Monoci, giving him a chance to catch up a little bit.
Yep. This is gonna help. He's gonna get his fire rod here. And, he'll go ahead and clear Skull Woods, which he needs to do anyway. So...
yeah, it's at least a progression item for him. unfortunately, it sends him a little bit away from Swamp, but after Skullwoods, he'll be just as stuck again, so...
Yeah. I think we can easily say here that the difference in this race has been Monoci not doing left side of Swamp. I think if he had done left side Swamp, he would be significantly in the lead right now. However, I say that, and he may not have made the routing decisions he made had he found his bow in Swamp Palace the way that Gem did.
Yeah, it's always kind of hard to say in hindsight, but I think you're definitely right in saying that the difference maker was him leaving that bow in Swamp Palace big chests.
Monoci just heading straight to the big ugly moth. Gem's still not heading. Oh wait, Gem's got. Okay, I see. Sorry, for a second there, I forgot that he still had the lunchbox in tow.
I'm not quite sure why he's taking the lunchbox to the Dark World, to be honest.
I think he's going to check Bombo's tablet right after, so that he has a Dark World portal right next to the thief.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes perfect sense. And that's why these guys are in the tournament and I'm not.
Ditto. And there's the riot shield. Yes, so when it comes to Ganon, our runners are going to have no issues. Red mail, silvers, butter sword.
A bloomerang from the sky is okay. Not really what Gem was looking for, obviously.
Not at all. Alright, there we go. Gem gonna hit up Misery Mire here, gonna find the bow and finally be in, or excuse me, find the boots and finally be in go mode.
Yeah, and even routing-wise, this actually turns out quite nicely for him. As soon as he picks up the boots, he can just mirror back to desert, and then he's done.
Monoci, are you finally doing it, Monoci?
Come on, Monoci.
I'm using my crystal ball to predict the future here, and I think once Monoci finds the bow, we're going to see a couple of frustration slashes.
Yeah, I think that's the least we can expect.
Yeah. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, we do not mic the runners while they're playing, because I'm sure there's probably going to be a significant amount of adult language in whichever is Monoci's native tongue.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe bet.
There he goes. All right. But quite frankly, at this point, it's going to take a miracle, and one of the most epic fails of all time from Gem's perspective to change the outcome of this race at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately, I kind of agree. I do believe that Gem will also kill Beatrice first, which will make it a little longer for him to find those boots that he wants. But, yeah, that bow was just kind of integral to the whole thing.
Because once Monoci finds his bow here, he's going to have to go back into... Actually, I take that back. All he's got to do is go back into Eastern Palace and finish it. This might be closer than I'm thinking here.
Yeah, now that I look at it.
Yeah. This is what happens when one speaks before one thinks. This could be closer than we're letting on right now. But yes, we realize that finishing Desert is quicker than finishing Eastern, but we shall see.
Well, the thing that you can't discount, dear chat, is that Gem will probably, just like Monoci did, pick up the chest with the boots in it as the very last chest in here in Mire. So that's gonna take him quite some time.
Yeah, that was a quick Vitreous due to the silver arrows.
Yeah, I think that might be the boss where you can see the biggest difference in speed.
Oh my god.
What are you doing, Gem?
He's going Sahasrahla. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Oh my lord, if Monoci wins this race, we can peg it down to Gem turning in the green pendant. Oh my god, this just became a race, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh man, is this really the defining play of the game?
Yeah, we thought it was... Oh my god. We thought it was Monoci not doing Swamp Palace. Oh my god.
Alright, Gem is hopping right back in. And yes, Monoci is now in go mode with the bow. Oh man.
This is how quickly fortunes can change in one Link to the Past randomizer run. Wow. Monoci's got a very quick path here. He knows he's in go mode. The big key was the first chest in Eastern Palace, so he's not going to run around to vanilla. He already checked it. Never mind. They've already checked all of the items. So straight shot to Armos Knights here. Monoci has got a significant advantage right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Gem still has to clear out Desert Palace, even if he just needs to go straight to the boss. And first and foremost, he needs to pick up those boots.
Yep. And as you mentioned, it is the last chest you check on a normal routing of Misery Mire, so it is going to be the last possible chest to check. Meanwhile, Monoci is almost to Armos Knights here. 2 screens away. 3 screens, I'm sorry. Monoci missing with his silvers. You got to think at this point, Monoci has got to believe that he is significantly behind because of how long it took him to find his bow. I don't think he realizes.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame him for thinking he's behind. That bow was in there for a long time.
Mm-hmm. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Monoci is heading to Ganon's Tower. There are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower in which the big key could possibly put your guess in the chat. The guessing game will go on until one of our runners, Monoci likely, finds the big key.
Alright, so Gem finally making his way over to that right side of Misery Mire.
So he's actually going to find it a little earlier than we thought, because there are his boots, there are the frustration slashes. Now, the only way this could get more hype right now would be if Monoci goes right side and Gem goes left side and Gem is correct, or vice versa, right?
Yeah, this, well, we'll have to see.
Oh, Gem's gotta get the big key too. I forgot about that. Alright, so Monoci is going to enter Ganon's Tower at about 1:36:30. First two chests in Ganon's Tower upcoming. Chest number 1 is a piece of fart. Chest number 2, arrow upgrades. If you said 1 or 2, you do not win anything today, boys and girls.
Nope, not in the first two. Number 3, Bob's torch. Just a small key. Monoci decides to grab it though, so goodbye, Bob.
Rip Bob, we hardly knew ye. There's number 4. Number 5 is a small key. Number 6 is another piece of fart. And number 7, another small key.
Yep, so we're continuing on the left side here while Gem grabs his last crystal and is going to flute up to Death Mountain himself now.
And here's number 8. Number 8 is a small key. The quest continues. Swag there from Monoci navigating that room.
Yeah, very nicely done.
There's chest numero 9 and nothing, just another big 20. Randomizer room time.
Yeah, we're going into the double digits.
Dix, 11, 12, 13, I win!
Alright. Here we go. So Monoci's search is over.
Yeah. Number 13.
Congratulations to our winner of the guessing game, who I am not even going to try to pronounce.
So what a race here, ladies and gentlemen. We thought Gem had this one in the bag based on Monoci failing to full clear swamp and thus not finding his bow for a very long time. Turns out that did not matter. Monoci finding the boots early and coming back from, as like we said, we thought this was Gem's. I even raced to lose. I even said it was going to take a small miracle. There was a small miracle in that Gem did not complete Misery Mire, instead opting to take the chance on the green pendant, almost certainly because he felt he was behind. Wow.
Yeah, it quickly turned around, and I don't think I've seen anyone make a play like that before, where they just go to the boss, grab the green pendant, and gamble on turning it in.
No, I haven't either, but I mean, again, you got to believe that Gem felt he was behind and needed to make some sort of gamble like that to catch up. Little did he know he was ahead, and making that gamble is likely going to cost him the match, but I'm not willing to call this one just yet because we've called it before and we're dead wrong.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen weirder things happen. There could be Ganon falls, there could be unfortunate deaths. Gem also has the Butter Sword over the Tempered Sword, which obviously isn't nearly as much of a difference as you would think, but still, every little second might count.
Alright, so Monoci getting ready to head up to Troll Dorm 2. Gem about to enter the gauntlet. And one slice for Troll Dorm 2, 2 slices for Troll Dorm 2. Troll Dorm 2 does not troll Monoci today. Is he going to open the validation chest? He does. 50 rupees in the validation chest.
Yeah, just a little bit more money since, you know, you can never have enough money.
It's true. You can never have too much. Alright, Aga 2, here we come, while Gem begins the gauntlet proper. Single in round 1. Double in round 2. I think that might have been a double in round 3. We'll find out here. It was. So Monoci heading on to Pink Barbecue, or Pork Barbecue. Again, words are hard, boys and girls. Nice aiming with the silver arrows there. Meanwhile, Monoci... Ganon says, we're not meant to have midnight snacks. Why is there a light in the fridge? Outstanding question, Ganon.
Yeah, he makes a very good point.
Agreed. Alright, and look at those cape strats. Yes. Monoci realizes he's not going to need much magic because he's got silvers and tempered swords. So
yeah, already almost in phase 4. Still needs to be a little bit careful. 3.5 hearts. He does have red mail, but just one unfortunate Ganon hug or something.
I think he's got a fairy in a bottle.
Oh, all right.
He might not. He's clearly got a blue potion, but just misses the timing for a triple, but that is going to do it. GG's to Monoci. Once he enters the Triforce room, we will have his official SRL time. But what a race between these two runners. Monoci's official SRL time, 1 hour, 45 minutes, 32 seconds. Monoci wins this match in quite dramatic fashion.
Yeah, definitely an interesting watch here. We were so sure that Gem had it in the bag, and then it just turned around in like a second, it felt like.
Critically, Gem opting to turn in the green pendant. Wow.
Alright, there's Gem's Agatu down. No, just a little piglet left.
Remind everybody, there is more Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament action coming your way today at 10 a.m. We have Sir Nico versus El Magus. 3 p.m. Pharaoh Pigman versus Ajneb 174, the reigning champion. And at 7 p.m., Wolfie83 versus Zero Rush. Those matches will be on Speed Gaming 2, 3, and the original Speed Gaming, respectively. Look under the player window for the Speed Gaming schedule. Gem heading on to Ganon, and he has Butter Swords, so I doubt we'll even see Cape Strats.
Yeah, he's definitely going to make quick work of Ganon here. Uh-oh. Please be careful, Gem.
And we're in the final phase of Ganon now. The final phase that really matters. Yes, indeed. We found the arrows in Swamp Palace. Gem does not get the Torch Cliff, but he doesn't need to. That's going to be a double-double on Ganon. Very nicely done.
Yeah, very nicely done from Gem. GG to him. And it looks like we've got Monoci here waiting for the post-game interview, so let me get him in here real quick. Hello, Monoci. GG, and congrats on your win. As you can see, it was pretty damn close.
The official time for Gem is 1:48:13. So 2.5 minutes difference between the two. Monoci, amazing play there from both of you guys. Congratulations on your victory.
Thank you, guys. Good game.
And we are joined by Gem as well.
Hello.
Gem, very, very well played on your part. Explain the gamble on the green pendant for us, man. What was going through your mind?
I wish I hadn't done that. I just felt like I was behind, so...
I skipped left side, Gem, so my goal was the bow.
Oh, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what we were talking about, Monoci, is that when you skipped left side of Swamp, Gem did not. So Gem picked up the bow. However, as someone in the chat rightfully pointed out, that may have been the deciding factor that made Gem go into pod. You did not clear pod. So we thought
I'm
Gem
glad. I'm glad pod was Bolog. I think that would have made me lost the game if pod was not Bolog.
And so we thought that was going to be the determinative factor in the game. But then Gem made the decision to to go straight through Mire, grab the green pendant, and exit and turn in the green pendant rather than finish Mire. And that could have been the difference in the entire game right there. Wow.
Man, I was really thinking about skipping that one item in the left side of Swamp, especially since the big key was missing. But I figured Monoci wouldn't skip it because he never does.
No, I skipped because of you, man.
Oh, the metagaming is working, Gem.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for both of you, Monoci first. How does considering your opposition enter into your decision-making process?
I noticed Gems always skip left side, so it's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do the same. So we both save the times on the left side, but then this time it bite me back really hard.
Gem, same question to you.
Well, it kind of helped, but then it didn't. Yeah, skipping that bow would have saved a ton of time, I guess. The entire pod clear.
Well, Jim and I will say that was a fantastic match to be calling. I imagine that everybody watching it was incredibly entertained. Very well played on both sides. Some great execution by both of you.
Yeah, it was absolutely a joy to watch. You are both now 2-1, and funnily enough, you'll both have to fight against Furame as your next opponent, probably, I think. I mean, there's still another person left in your group, which I'm not quite sure.
Bentweezy, I think, is 1-2, and so is Big Dunka, I think. It's my group.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, that's true. I just went looking. So, it's going to be an interesting group from the standings right now.
Yeah, we might get a three-way tiebreaker, depending on how Furame plays.
Well, gentlemen, real quick before we sign off, let me just remind everybody who's in the chat right now that coming up immediately after we sign off here is the English language restream of the grand finals of the Ultimate Decathlon. So 10 races, 10 wildly different games, from I Want to Be the Guy to Quake to Super Metroid ROM hack and indie games like Volgar the Viking. Players have been learning the games over the past 5 months to place in a leaderboard and qualify for this event. That is coming up immediately here on Speed Gaming. So before we sign off and kick it over to the Ultimate Decathlon, let's let our runners have the last word. Monoci85, anything you want to say before we sign off?
I just want to say thank you guys for the commentary, and thanks Viso for the restream. Much appreciated, guys.
Yeah, big thanks to everyone.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add, Jim, as the victor of today's race? Oh, excuse me. I did it. I'm sorry. I did that the opposite way. Again, words and thinking are hard for an old man. Yes, Jim, anything else you'd like to add before we sign off?
Well, not really. Yeah, just thanks to you guys for commentating, and to Fiesel for the restream, and to the tracker. So link a lot.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Always shouts out to Fiesel, the legend, and to Sir Linkalot, our tracker. You guys are doing all the hard work behind the scenes, making sure this goes off without a hitch. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Phantom Ryu. I am signing off here, giving the absolute last word on this stream to my commentary partner, Herfy Durfy. Thank you for calling this match with me. Absolute pleasure. I am out of here for now. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, and I could just repeat what these guys already said. Thanks to everyone involved. Thanks to our tracker, Sarah Linkalot. Thanks to Fiesel. Thanks to the runners for the great match. And, of course, thanks to Phantom Ryu for commentating with me. Please stick around for the Ultimate Decathlon, as we've said. And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.